How's it going, everyone? I'm Alex with AC Flips on YouTube. I'm a full-time six-figure Amazon seller, and today is episode 2 of Would You Buy This? A series I started a couple weeks ago talking about different scenarios of products, looking at the Keep It charts and their seller amp data, and you deciding whether or not it's worth purchasing for your Amazon business. These are all hypothetical scenarios, but I thought it would be fun to break down a few different looking charts and product scenarios, and let's see together if it's worth purchasing for our Amazon business or not. What I do is pop up the seller amp and the Keep It charts ahead of time. You can pause the video there and analyze the data, and you try to make a guess of whether or not you would purchase this for your business. And then I will break down the product completely right after, and we can decide together if it's worth purchasing for our Amazon businesses. I go through 3 products, and let's jump into the first one. All right, so for our first product, we have a gray Adidas skate shoe in the clothing category. Pause the video now, analyze the data, and make a decision on whether you would purchase this product or not. All right, so we're starting out with this Adidas Men's Daily 3.0 skate shoe. It's a gray color, size 8. First off, the rank looks really nice, 3K. It sells a little over 2,800 times per month. Our hypothetical cost is $22.90, sale price $47.97. Great profit and good ROI. One thing we're noticing right away is Amazon is on this listing. Not a good sign, but we want to check in the Keep It chart and see how often Amazon is on the listing. On Adidas products, a lot of them Amazon sells, but there's definitely a few variations in between where Amazon does not sell them. So we want to double check the chart and make sure that things check out before making a decision. So as you can see, Amazon is on this variation quite a bit in the last 3 months. We can go back a year to see if there's any difference in the data of how Amazon is on it. So back in the spring of last year, Amazon was not on this much. So maybe that's something to look forward to in the next few months. But basically in the last 6 to 8 months, Amazon has been on the listing. So not a good sign for a short-term purchase. We can see that the price stays pretty consistent at this $48. That's what our current buy box is. It did jump up right around Christmas time to $60. But we can expect a consistent price right around that $47, $48 range, especially with Amazon on the listing. The amount of sellers doesn't go up or down too often in the last 3 months. We see a low of 7 sellers, a high of in the low 20s. But when we're in between those sellers, we see that buy box stay right around $48. For me, I see Amazon on this listing, and I automatically get turned off from it. That's my preference. There are sellers, obviously there's 15 other sellers on this listing besides Amazon. Not sure if those sellers, were hoping Amazon was going out of stock during Christmas time, and now they're kind of just hanging out on the listing, not getting the buy box. But basically when Amazon is on a listing, they're going to hog the buy box as much as they want. So you shouldn't expect a ton of sales unless you're really undercutting Amazon's price, which at that point, it's probably pretty tough to be profitable. So I try to avoid the listings that Amazon is on as much as I can. If we wanted to look at variations, we might find a certain variation or size that Amazon is out of stock on, and you might be able to find at a certain store, and maybe that's something that's worth purchasing. But for our scenario with the size 8 gray shoe, this product is not worth purchasing. All right, so the second product is a Nike Benassi sandal in the clothing category. Pause the video now, analyze the data, and make a decision on whether you would purchase this for your Amazon business. All right, so our second item is the Benassi Just Do It athletic sandal. It's a size 12, this black color here. Let's look at the seller amp data. A 3K rank, really good rank, sells over 5,000 times a month. Our cost is only $12.99. You can sell this for $30, profit of $477, 36% ROI. Numbers look great here. Since it's a variation listing, we want to look at the Keep It charts, understand the data a little bit further before actually making a decision. So let's take a look. All right, so first glance at the chart, we can see a pretty consistent buy box price. You can probably kind of draw a line right at that like $31, $32, and it's going to be basically a trend line between the middle of all the peaks and valleys of the buy box. It does jump up and down a lot, and that you'll see that a lot on lower rank listings, right? Because some people are getting the buy box priced a little lower, and then other people, because it's selling so fast, is able to price it a little bit higher and then still get the buy box every once in a while, which is why you see these large peaks and valleys. The sales rank stays pretty consistent, which is nice. Back in November, we were closer to 5,000 rank, but it's been pretty consistently around 2,000 to 4,000 in the last few months, so that's good to see. If we look at the seller count here, the seller count jumps all around, and that's because had a lot of sales during Christmas time, so people were selling out of their stock, and then they were able to rebuy after Christmas. Obviously, sales slowed a little bit, but the good news is even though we hit a higher amount of sellers than we had in the past, that buy box kind of stayed right around where it was pre-Christmas. So we can see that buy box is, $31.50, and we go after Christmas, we're at, $30 to $31. So we didn't really move a whole lot, even though the seller count increased above levels in the past. Like I said, we have size 12. So one last double check to make sure that even though it's a low rank, we want to make sure the variation is on par from what we expect it to be. And we can see, you don't have to scroll very far, but 5% of the ratings goes to the size 12 sandals. So we can assume that this is going to sell plenty of times per month for us to jump on it, even with a lot of sellers on the listing, and we can expect to get some of this buy box share. Overall, this size 12 sandal I would purchase for my Amazon business. All right, our third and final product is a Nike women's shoe in the clothing category. Pause the video now, analyze the data, and make a decision on whether or not you would purchase this product for your Amazon business. All right, so we have our last shoe here. This is the Nike Waffle Racer Creator women's running training shoe, size 7. It's in a neutral color, and there's a lot of other neutral colors and variations, but let's take a look at the seller amp data. So we have a 310K rank already off the bat. Kind of turns me off of this listing. I like to see stuff under 200,000 in clothing. Maybe you can go a little bit higher than 200, but ideally I like to stay under that because there's plenty of items that are going to sell fast under the 200,000 mark. Estimated sales on the entire listing, only 20 per month. Our max costs were below our max cost, and the sale price is $73, profiting $12, 32% ROI. Let's just take a look at the Keep It chart to confirm that these low sales per month is actually true. So we look at the Keep It chart here. We have a fairly consistent buy box price. We're seeing in the past a $77, and we've only dropped down to $73. But that's over, a month plus period, and we made it through Christmas. So the offer count doesn't change a whole lot in the 3-month span. We go anywhere from, 10 offers up to 15 or 16. So that doesn't change a whole lot, and we shouldn't see a huge swing in price of the buy box. The only reason the buy box changes a bunch on some of these high rank listings is because people get on expecting to sell a bunch of times per month. They get frustrated not getting a ton of sales. You can see we only added like 3 or 4 sellers in this period, but people are getting anxious at not selling at this $77 price. So there's people penny pinching and trying to lower their buy box, and all of a sudden there's a race to the bottom is what it's called, and people bottomed out all the way at $72, $71 buy box, which is not good for the current sellers on the listing, right? A lot of these other sellers were able to sell around the $77, $76. Again, back at 77 here until more people got on, seeing that they could have made that $12 profit that we saw earlier. They got frustrated that they weren't getting a ton of sales, and then they started dropping their price, hoping that would trigger sales, which in most cases that doesn't always work, especially on these high 200 plus K rank listings. The price did level out at $73, but like I said, you're only going to sell 20 times per month, and that's on the entire listing, doesn't include variations. You can look at the variations tab, see our size 7 does take 17% of the sales per month. But again, 17% of 20 is not that many. There's still 15 sellers in the listing. So you're only going to get a couple sales a month, if that, on this specific variation. So all in all, this is not something I would purchase for my Amazon business. Awesome. So these products were a little bit different than episode 1, but it's just giving you a different scenario of seeing other products and hopefully getting a better understanding of which products are going to be worth purchasing, which products you might want to skip this time, but maybe keep on your radar, or charts that look really bad, and being able to notice that right away. Hopefully all of these things are increasing your knowledge of Keep It charts and looking at seller amp data and really understanding if a product is worth purchasing as inventory for your Amazon business. If you guys found this video helpful, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you in the next video.